Hey y'all, it's Wednesday, and this Wednesday we're talking about progress on this shawl. This is the crochet ruffle shawl that is on the container of the Cinnamon Swirl Caron Cake. We're also going to talk about how I am getting my dates mixed up so bad that some of the events I talked about last week aren't going to happen for me. So stay tuned to With Wednesday with me, Kristen. Yes, it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, y'all. It is Wednesday, right? Now, technically, I do take these a day before, so already time is a continuum for me. When you see me on these videos, takes a lot for me to come down here to my little floor space, my floor meditative slash specialty yarn slash special video space to come here. Anyway, I'm rambling, but you know what's rambling and what's infuriating? This. Now, if you look at the pattern pictures, so you know, when everybody does their thing with their shawls and they spread them out, like, and yeah, on camera like this, it looks like I'm getting some pretty good wingspan, but the reality is if I turn myself this direction, yeah. Oh yeah, there's the baby in. Anyway, yes, real time filming here, but real bad gauging here. Or actually, I'm not the only one with this particular pattern. I wanted to just, stitch this up without reading. I wanted to go in fresh, and I'm trying to avoid using like what we usually say for this because I'm trying not to be ableist here. And that's the thing, even if you are a master crocheter, because there was one woman on the Yarnspiration site who said she was a master crocheter and she still had trouble with this pattern. So what's going on here? So I am so enamored with this colorway. Like, as you can see, once again, I picked a blue floral dress to throw on just because. And of course, I got my black pleather from Nordstrom Rack. It's their little LODs. I'll link it in the description box. No, so far, I am not anybody's affiliate, but I am endorsing things, so we did put that paid promotion up there. But here's the thing. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the truth about what I'm gifted or what I bought to tell you about, or I'm just not gonna say nothing. But sometimes I'm gonna say something because I don't want us to get took. And with yarn potentially going up because stateside we're dealing with tariffs. Now, all of y'all all over the other parts of the world, y'all got a yarn party going on. I don't think y'all gonna be like affected by yarn. But this time, it's going to hit us. And for those of y'all who are like, oh, well, y'all deserve it. Now, if you're watching my channel, y'all know that we are a radical yarn channel. We live embodied in our lived experience on said yarn channel. So, I love these colors. I love this colorway that Yarnspirations has put out in its Caron family. I love that what they're doing with Red Heart. Red Heart, those of us who are at least over, I would say over 30, probably remember what it was like to only have Red Heart. That's why your grandmothers, grandparents shy away sometimes from these crafts, because doing these crafts and the materials that they had access to were rough. You either had to spin it, dye it, and curate yourself, which by the way is a huge hobby, and some of my friends are doing that. Now that isn't one event I will make it to, and I'll get to that. And with this, it didn't look like this. It didn't look this good. So I get it. I get why we run away from these things. But so far, pattern is kind of trash. I'm adapting it. I still want to do the ruffles. I've decided that since I can tie it around my neck and do a bandana of it, we good. So it's gonna, for me, it's gonna ruffle, and then I'm gonna close up like this. I'm gonna be like, hey, 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 hey. And maybe, you know, And this is a slight center spoiler. If you've seen it, this isn't a gory spoiler. You know, I might need some protection around the neck. Might need to protect my neck anyway with everything that's going on. So I can say we're still in work in progress whip stage with this. But we are coming to the end. And pretty soon, the next time you see me, it'll be ruffled. But this is a good segue to show you some of the things I have been able to do over the last week. Come on, I'm gonna play those things, little cornucopia things, talk over a little bit, and then I'll come right back here. So we're in, and yep, I'm in with this. I'll show you the one thing I was surprised I got in with this year. But now, to the store, because she has to get her ceremonial piece of Beltway Series jewelry here at Max Park. Always come every year for the Beltway Series. So here we go to the store. Right as we came in, right here waiting for her this year. Last year it was not here waiting for her. Also, they kind of remodeled in here a little bit at the store. So I think so. Definitely check out what else is in here. All right, I kind of like the new format for the store. Nice. She got her t-shirt, I got my pen. But now we're gonna go on up the escalator and go to our seats. Yep, got in with my aluminum ergonomic hook. My clear bag was just small enough to get in, but big enough to carry that. And yeah, watching the running presidents, it's a Nationals Park tradition, part of our many mascots. And you'll see here that the Geico Gecko and our Screech, our actual mascot, join in as well. And during the 7th inning stitch, I had to get my dance on to show y'all my progress. And yes, I think the grandma outfit helped a little bit with being able to bring in all my equipment. Hey y'all, Kristen here in Baltimore City today at our big time maker space for the region. And when I mean the region, I mean the region. I'm gonna go inside here. They're having a Federal Affected Workers Day. And it's been a few years. I have done my tour in here, but I do need to get back connected. So let's go inside together. Yeah, I was super pleased to see the embroidery machines, this long on quilter machine, and of course this sewing room. And people were in it, but I didn't want to take them. Just coming back from seeing Sinners, and we went to Regal Gallery Place on Saturday morning, and we were right across the street from a Capital One cafe. We needed to do some bank business, as this is our bank, and so we popped in here, and then we realized we didn't bring an umbrella, so we just plopped on this couch, and I figured I would get some stitching in and hanging out. And right here I'm telling Les how to film me, hence why I'm voiceovering here, so it's not so jarring that I'm giving Bae so many directions. But yeah, honestly, sitting in here gave me such a huge idea for what I'm going to talk about later in the video, so please stay tuned. And you definitely want to like and subscribe so you learn more about my plan to do something like this, like a little coffee house type thing for us here in the maker and craft community. A little similar to what I saw at Open Works. Didn't y'all love that those fabric rooms and those big equipment? And then yeah, I think I'm gonna make Sunday park time a tradition for me until it gets too hot for me to be outside. And as you see, I have my big hat on. Forgot to put on any lipstick or my little eyebrow thing, so I felt a little parched. Did put on my sunscreen. We're out here with some friends in the park, and almost all of them had the cutest little children. One person had brought some amazing banana bread, and that's their business, so I definitely more encouragement to work on my little craft cafe and maybe have them involved. And yes, I am wearing the Crispinity dress. It was a weird weather day on Sunday. It was in the 60s, but it got windy. Gotta love these DC springs where one day it's summer and another day it's knocking on winter. So yep, and I look a little frustrated here, but I am talking. I'm trying to stitch. I'm trying to put the ruffle row in here. As you see, this is Sunday afternoon, and this is when I really started to see that this bandana could go south. But in the meantime, got it. So yeah, I've been to the park twice. I did make it to my event, but it was the following day, and I wore something else, and I had a whole podcast on my other channel that more people know about, the more known channel. And I got to take the Crispinity dress out for one more spin. Of course, I have my backpack here. I've got the poll I put it up on Instagram. Feel free in the comments below if you like this book bag, if you want me to actually put this out for sale. Now, this version I printed through Society 6. So what would have to happen is, for me, either you have to be my test person or I'm gonna send this out I'm gonna upload this into Printful, test out Printful's backpack, and then I will put Printful's backpack up here. But I think that's just the spirit of Work in Progress Wednesday. So yeah. And I was out in these streets, y'all, because we trying to raise money here. It's a little bit early. I'll have more details about what I'm trying to do on next Work in Progress with Wednesday. But I spent one of my biggest whips this week was spending some time after going to Open Works and seeing, and gosh, that sewing room. I was just, the sewing room. So that's fixed one problem for me. So at the very least, I have my yarn here, and then I can just take the train. Now the train is still like an hour and a half trip, but in a 3-hour round trip. And of course, those of us who are in major metros and we do commute using commuter rail, that is not unheard of. That's why some of us are enamored and gotten into fiber arts, because it's something we can do while we're commuting. So hold that thought, because it has everything to do with my big place-making whip. It is pulling together my legacies of being concerned about what gentrification is doing and to the world. We've managed to hack gentrification here in this household by even being in this apartment. But as far as like my career, it's been hard to hack. In fact, I also dressed up today because I wanted to feel festive, because it's a party I should be at least I want to be at, but I'm just inviting myself because I want to be more present with people that want to be there with me. And that is why I am disappointed that I couldn't make Chicago work for real. I did book the ticket. Thankfully, I booked it with Southwest. Southwest now, thanks to, I guess, Pete Buttigieg, has and that has not gone away. Southwest is now, even if you were getting wanna get away tickets, they turn your wanna get away into a flight credit for the price that you paid for your whole ticket. Now, it's not an automatic transfer tickets. And then of course I have a lot of rapid rewards. And when we had that pause 5 years ago on the onslaught of COVID, basically my rapid rewards post froze in time. And of course, I don't think they ever expire again. So that's going to be helpful. So when I'm ready, and not to say that miracles can't happen and happen to me, and I show up at Atlanta Frog Tales and Maryland Sheep and Wool, which, by the way, is this coming weekend. So Maryland people, or people who can get themselves to Maryland Sunday afternoon, especially at the Sheep and Shawl, please come out and support my friends. I didn't get to see them last week, and some of them might be busy this week, but my Wednesdays, when I'm done, or in the space-time continuum, usually I try to get these out by 11 a.m. Eastern. So you're watching them within the 11 a.m. to the 1 p.m. hour. So in real time, actual working time, after that, I am going out to my favorite yarn studio for their big Nakers night over at Sweet Pea Fiber. Some of you might have gone there on local yarn store day. Some of you might have seen my little short where I was so busy and I have so many yarns up in here. And yes, I'll admit, like these production yarns, I've got a chokehold. I like shiny, colorful objects, but talk to some of my local yarn dyers that are in this region, and talk about the blues of theirs that I have made sure that I have purchased. So they definitely get their support from me. And oh, the books, like I made sure I wanted books. But yeah, I want to say this before we end the video. My big whip has everything to do with bringing more yarn, crafting, just chilling. Like it may have a store element to it, but honestly, I just want somewhere where we could chill, we could have something to eat. Maybe depending on the venue and depending on the fundraising, we can have outdoor space. An outdoor space we can like dye yarn and weave yarn in, whatever. So I am right now drawing up a Kickstarter, and I wanted to choose Kickstarter because I don't want this vision to like come out half. I don't want to bleep that either. So I don't want us to be half. I want this to be whole. And when we're dealing with commercial real estate, now that's the one part of me that comes from my 15 years of critiquing and demanding and begging and studying land use and land practices. And I'll admit it probably was a special interest, but you know, us as Black folks don't get the same diagnoses, and those diagnoses can been putting us in bad situations. We've been on kind of a registry. But nevertheless, I want my new space, and I'm still debating if it's going to be a space, but then again, this is a space. This is a virtual space. As someone who is allergic to a lot of things and suspected that I might have one of those tasty little post-COVID conditions that come up from post-viralness, because it tests positive for 3 weeks. Now, I didn't feel bad. I will say allergies got worse, and then the way they're getting worse outdoors is just weird. The sun, right now it's 85 degrees here. It is, day I'm taping this is 85 degrees. And since I've already told you I take these on Tuesdays, or your consumption today on Wednesday, it is another 80-something degree week in the end of April here in the District of Columbia. Metaphor for a lot. But we are not burning down. Not all of us are burning down. We, like everywhere on the world, people in the world deserve to have a space that is theirs. We are all earthlings. I love to say that a lot, especially on my other platform. We are all earthlings. And would you, as an earthling, want to be mistreated? And so that's why my biggest whip, besides working on this, besides getting this ready, I'm still not giving up on getting this ready for Baltimore, because Baltimore's got some time. In fact, about to pull this label off. You know, I got my number 5 hook sitting next to me. I've got this on, and I don't know. I mean, now that I come with y'all on a regular and I realize, okay, I could just tell y'all how it is on these. I may or may not make a separate video about this. I may or may not finish this pattern. I might just cut because since this is the left ball I got left, and I'm kind of getting bored with this. I got other things I want to do. And I'm pretty satisfied with it looking like this, with maybe a little bit of ruffle on the ends. It might be getting. So, let me know in the comments, y'all, if you would love to come to just a cafe, a crochet cafe, a knitting cafe, a place that might have classes. Like, one good thing about commercial kitchen, there's a lot of overlap there. Now, we have to be mindful of food safety as well as like patron safety. Hence why I'm still working on the numbers. I'm working on the logistics, but a Kickstarter will be coming to test out this idea of having a crochet cafe somewhere convenient to a major point of public transportation. And then we may have a shop element as well, because as I talked about on last week's video, going to get these things is like a date. But it would be nice, wouldn't it be so cute to come and say Penn Station, the Monahan Hall in New York, and not only have seats but have a little yarn shop? Wouldn't it be cute? Like, gosh, if Nitty City or one of my other favorite New York locals is up in there. Wild Hand at 30th Street Station. Any of my other DC locals at Union, Gate City Yarns, who just closed in downtown Greensboro. Maybe if they moved into the depot, maybe they would still be open. And I'm willing to have that conversation with myself. I'm willing to be that steward. I'm reaching out. Those of you who are arts educators, I'd love to talk to you about that feasibility. Some of my architect and planner friends who also have followed me over to this space, let's talk, because this is about to be my combined opus of what I want to do. And if you, as a patron, as a commuter, as somebody with kids who would love to just, have somewhere else fun to go and do, just something fun to do. Like, there's been a lot of chatter about what young people, especially like the 13 to 18 crowd, can really do here in this region now that doesn't cost money and doesn't demonize them, especially if they're Black and brown children, many who are afraid of their parents losing their jobs or losing their citizenship. So that's the plan, pulling it all together. In the meantime, about to pull this hook out, and I think, as you see, it just fell off. So, okay, we're going to put a few more stitches on this so it will not fall off my neck. It will not be a shawl. It'll be another, I'll call this my Kristen Power bandana. Because remember, we all remember Empower People bandana. Link is in the description for that pattern. This is a good time to pull that one out. Mine is in this house somewhere. All the moves and stuff is somewhere. And get this going to be my little sportwear bomber jacket. I've also got some other yarn that's in the big stack that's in the front room that I'm still parsing through and unpacking. And by next week, if I am good and I don't buy anything from Sheep and Wool, even though I'm not going to Atlanta or Chicago, Maryland Sheep and Wool is more than enough yarn. And, I do want to go over to G Street Fabrics to test that for myself. There is more than enough access to me for yarn craft. But I think what I want to do, the big whip, other than me making my cloths and clothes, is to make this craft more accessible and to continue to build community here locally in the DC, Maryland, Delmarva, DMV, whatever you want to call this region. With that, until next time, I look forward to seeing you next week. Tell me about your whips. Tell me about this idea. Tell me about the things that I talked about. I love to hear from you. I'm so happy that you want to watch this and you're coming back. And please remember to like and subscribe so this pops up. And hit the bell. If you want to make sure you don't miss me on Wednesday mornings, afternoons, midday, hit that bell. That way it'll do something. To be honest, I'm not a bell hitter. I usually depend on the algorithm. My algorithm's pretty well trained, but not everybody's is, especially if you're letting your kids use it. Y'all, if everybody's sharing one account instead of in my household where one of us is premium and the rest of us are other things. Anyway, I'll see you next time, and I hope your things that are in progress bring you joy.